When I talk about launching of the app, it doesn't mean like you have done your app and then now you're launching it on website or onto the app store or anything. It's about when somebody click the app icon on the device and then they see the first screen your app shows. So that's what I mean when I say launching of the app. So let's look at what human guidelines say about this. We're gonna only talk about the main points here. We're not gonna go through top down, read what the whole thing is all about. So first thing it says is provide a launch screen. So every app in iOS needs to provide a launch screen. If your app is only for portrait mode, make sure that your launch screen opens up nicely in the portrait mode. If your app can be opened in both portrait and landscape mode, make sure that your launch screen is compatible or is adaptive to both portrait and the landscape mode. Avoid asking for setup information upfront, like if you have any license agreements or you have terms of service or anything else, you don't ask those things when they first launch the app. It's not a good user experience. You can put them somewhere in the app, like in the settings menu, where you can take a link to your terms of service or your FAQs or stuff like that. Best place to put is in the app store when you put your app out there, so all your privacy statements and everything goes as a links to your app store on the app. Launching the app and then putting it back and then bringing it up, so it's a whole new life cycle whenever user close the app and then restart it. Apple tends to encourage that people don't close their app, so you need to make sure that you handle those states, like people putting your app in the background and then bringing it back to the foreground. So you need to make sure the app state is saved and then people don't have to retrace their steps to reach to the state where they were when they put the app in the background. Don't ask for like any kind of permissions you need for your app when the app starts. Like as soon as I open the app and then bunch of pop-ups come up, or I need location access, or I need to send push notification, I need your Bluetooth access, microphone access. User don't have any idea why your app need those. So ask those permissions whenever necessary. Like say I am adding a to-do item and I am adding a reminder for the to-do item to be reminded me at that stage. So at that time you ask that, okay, to remind you I would need to send you a push notification, so can I send you a push notification? That user has a more context of why the app needs that permission. So that's the best place to ask for those permissions. Rating in the app store is important, so don't go crazy about asking okay, how you like the app. Even on the startup, user hasn't used your app yet, user has no idea of your app, how it behaves, so you can still ask them within the app, but you need to make sure that it's periodic and you're not asking too many times, or if you are asking, then you should give an option that do not ask again. Now let's have a look at how you can add a launch screen to your app. We are gonna talk only about SwiftUI and how we add stuff as we go along the human interface guidelines, how we do stuff in SwiftUI apps, because I believe that's the way forward for all the Apple development stuff, including iOS, macOS, tvOS, watchOS. Okay, so I have already spin up this new project, which is just bare minimum iOS app you will get when you bring a new iOS app. And then what we need to do is we need to find the info. So when you add a new iOS project, by default you won't see the info .plist file, but if you go to your project targets and the info, then you will see your custom iOS property targets. And as you go about editing them, so what we need to now do is, we don't want this guy in here because we're going to use a different setting. So see, as I changed info plist file appears here. So this is a new way of handling the info plist file. I'm not going to go into deep how that works, but for now just remember that by default it's not there. But if you go into your target and info and start modifying this, you will see the info plist file here. So I can go back there, I can see the launch screen. So it's a dictionary, and let's see what all things we have here. Not this guy. I need to expand this and then say okay, so what I can do, I can add a background color just to show a color as a launch screen, an image. I can choose to show navigation bar, show tab bar, show toolbar as part of the launch screen. Before I can show an image, probably I will have to add an image. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add an image here as an image set. I'm gonna call it the launch screen image. And if I go to the properties, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go single scale, and I already have an image downloaded for my launch screen, and that's an SVG image, so that will work for all the scaling. And then I'm just gonna copy this name here so that I don't mistype anything, and I'm gonna say okay, for the launch image use this image. And there's another dictionary info, there is another setting that we can set, which is image respect safe area insets. I'm gonna choose yes. For this one, it does not matter for my image because it's all empty space, but if you have some content over the navigation bar or the tab bar that you are planning to show in the launch screen, I would suggest that you take care of this setting according to your image that you are going to show. So now that we have added the launch image, let's run this app now. So you see that I can see the launch screen, and then my app comes back. Okay, now because this is an SVG image, and if I just close the app, and then let's add another setting here, which would be, let's say, show tab bar. So let's see what it's gonna do. It's showing a empty tab bar at the bottom. So you can play with these settings and see how it fits your home screen, so that whenever you show the launch screen and immediately after you're showing home screen with the tab bar or a navigation bar, you can add those things to your launch screen image, and then it can have that transition from your launch screen to your app to make a more smoother experience for the user. So this is how you will add a launch screen to your SwiftUI app. And in the next video we are gonna talk about onboarding. So onboarding experience is when your app is launched, and then this is the first time user is coming into your app, and then how you can add some onboarding screens. Then we'll look at maybe designing one onboarding screen and go through what Apple Human Interface Guidelines talk about those onboarding guidelines. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.